Hey, how you getting on? Today on Dude, Where Are My Eyebrows? I check out Celestion's V-Type guitar speaker. So yeah, it's been a while since I released a video. Reason is I've been setting up this new space here and I'm really excited to use it because for the first time ever, I've got pretty much all my crap in one location, which means I can bring out some of my favorite toys to use, like these Lichtlamp pedals here on that Palmer power supply, and I'm stoked to use them. Yeah, but back to the speaker, the Celestion V-Type. Is it just a budget vintage 30? That's kind of the impression I've had for all these years. That's why I myself maybe unjustly have dismissed it a bit. It's like a stripped down V30, but maybe it's not, maybe it's more, and I want to find out. And the way I do it is by testing it in this Marshall cab next to me. If you're new to my channel, the way I test speakers is I put the speaker I'm testing on this side of my Marshall cab next to a Celestion Vintage 30 from the year 2000, one of my favorite vintage 30s, very smooth in the 5 to 6 kilohertz region. Yeah, sounds good. Everybody knows what a vintage 30 sounds like, and everybody knows if they like them or not, so that's the reference. I play some sloppy lifts through one of my amps. Now that I've got this new space, I'll be using some more amps now and then. Not today though, I want to keep it simple today. And I switch back and forth between the speakers in post and editing so that you have a reference to go by. Both speakers get mic'd up with Shure SM57s on these cool gravity mic stands that get clamped onto the cab. The Celestion Vintage 30 gets mic'd up in a sweet spot where the dust cap meets the cone, which is about here in this cabinet, and the speaker I'm demoing gets mic'd up in the same relative position at first to give you an apples to apples comparison. But if that speaker has a different sweet spot to my ears, I move the microphone to that sweet spot later in the video, just so you have a fair representation of how that speaker can sound, at least according to my taste, and an apples to apples comparison. And to further help you assess if that speaker is for you, I provide you with some free IRs for you to download and do your own testing at home. One for the Vintage 30, and however many IRs I use mic positions for the speaker I'm testing. In this case, at least according to my taste, the V-Type sounds a little bit better with the microphone further outside, so you'll be getting 2 IRs to test at home. And if you like those IRs, I have a Patreon where I upload IR packs for all the speakers I demo so far. It's a $5 a month and you get access to all the IR packs I've made so far. So if you like my IRs, that's probably a good deal and it helps me a lot. So yeah, what else is there to say? Probably nothing. Yeah. I need to put the V-Type in this cabinet, and then I'll meet you back here in a second for some sloppy riffs. Right, let me move the mic to the sweet spot. All right, I think that does it for close mic sounds. I'm going to play the room sounds now and meet you back for my final thoughts. So what do we think of the Celestion V-Type? I've changed my mind on it entirely. I don't think it's a budget V30 at all. I think it sounds very different. It's very much its own thing. It's more bassy than the Vintage 30 for one thing. And similar to the Celestion Creamback M that I demoed a couple of weeks ago, it leaves room in the high mids where the Celestion Vintage 30 is very prominent, and some people really hate that about the Vintage 30. So the V-Type might be something for those people. And also I've changed my mind again after listening back to the recorded samples there. I think it did sound better in the reference position after all. I don't know how I got to the conclusion that it sounded better further out. I don't know. It was just the form of the day. Today I thought it sounded better in the reference position, but it means you get an extra IR. It doesn't hurt anyway, so that's that. Why is this speaker not more popular? I think it sounds great for one thing. And my controversial opinion, my hot take on this is, I think Celestion's problem is that it's not expensive enough. Probably the A-Type has a similar problem, I'd presume, because it is more affordable than the top of the line Celestions like the V30, Redback, Creamback, Greenbacks. I think the perception might be that they are not as good, or the quality isn't there, but I don't perceive a difference in quality at all, just a difference in tonality, and that is subjective, that's personal. I mean, the V-Type had more low end, less high mids, but also very smooth presence region, the 5 to 6 kilohertz region. So, yeah, I think that's all I have to say about the V-Type. What did you think of the V-Type? Tell me in the comments down below. I'm always curious to hear your takes. Check out the free IRs, and if you like those, consider becoming a Patreon. Or if you want to support me otherwise, there's affiliate links down there below for Tollman, for Sweetwater, and for Tube Amp Doctor. So if you click any of those next time you're buying something, it doesn't cost you anything extra, and it helps me out a lot. that's all I've got for now. Thank you so much for watching, and see you next time. Bye. These need. The fuck was that?